Petri dish, the Petri dish, the Petri dish.
This is
The Petri dish, the Petri dish, the Petri dish. This is the Petri dish. There's something growing in here, and what is growing is just a whole decade's worth of growth, all culminating in today. What is up, everybody? It's me, ya boy, Skinny Penis. Guys, check out that Vine if you haven't. It's hilarious. Anyway, what's up? It's me, Bobby, your host. You know who I am, I hope, because if you've been listening to this at all, I've been here the whole time. If this is your first time listening to this podcast, oh, whoa, weird. I don't know why you're here, but thanks for checking in on me and the world that I have built. Not that this is a world-based podcast anymore. Sorry, super scatterbrained. Got my wisdom teeth out like 4 days ago. Still in a Vicodin haze. So if I also sound like I'm talking weird and my S's sound strange, it's because I am missing 4 teeth in my head. But you know, I didn't do a podcast over the Christmas break because I figured, you know what, I need a day off. But also, I'm just kind of excited about 2020 and basically the entire decade. I've spent a lot of time, especially over this year of this podcast, being a lot less funny and a lot more, like self-indulgent, I'll call it self-indulgent because I don't want to put too positive of a spin on it because everyone misses me being a goofy cartoon, which I miss it too, guys. You know what? I'm not going to lie. I spend a lot of time in the dichotomy of being a goofy cartoon and being a serious brooding artist, and so... And there's no guests today. Sorry. There's no guests because I didn't plan any. Because honestly, like, it's not that I don't want to have guests on my podcast. It's just at this point, this is so obviously like a personality piece that only my friends listen to or people that care about me that I'm just like, I'm leaning into it. You guys want to know stuff about me? Fucking here you go. This is it. Because, it's me and Bill Burr, the only people that I think are going to get away with a solo podcast. No, that's just my malignant narcissism peeking through. Hey, yo. Anyway, I'm not a narcissist. I took a quiz. Don't tell women I've dated that. They'll think I'm lying. Just kidding. That's a bad joke. I feel like I have to fill the silence with continuous talking. And honestly, that's not the healthiest. And so I'm just going to let moments happen as they happen and try not to do too much editorializing as I go. Because honestly, that's all I've been doing is editorializing my life to try to contextualize the dumb shit I do instead of just letting myself have the dumb shit and letting myself be me for a fucking second. And so 2020, new goal, just going to let myself be me while also trying to improve. I'm not going to get stuck in the nitpicky details of who I'm trying to be. I'm going to stop doing that shit because honestly that gets into a whole level of narcissism that I'm trying to break myself from because while I know I'm not a fucking narcissist, I definitely have those tendencies because one thing I learned from a therapist this year is I conditionalize love. It's one of the things that I do. I try to build things into big moments, or I try to use, grandiose things as a way to either prove my affection or get it, when in reality, I am enough. And in the words of the Dear Evan Hansen play, Dear Diary, today I'm me, and that's enough. And then close that chapter, day's done, go fucking live it. So... I'm trying to do that more, trying to just be fucking chill. So that's what I'm doing. So Christmas was dank. Hope everyone else's Christmases were super chill. I had a whole week off of work, and I didn't do enough. I didn't do enough relaxing. Honestly, I packed a lot of shit into my week off because I don't often get an entire week off, and I was like, I gotta do everything. So I made like 4 loaves of bread. I took care of a dog. Shout out to Matt Wiegand. Took care of Eunice, his dog. And I didn't even take care of her that much, more than I just dumped a dog off on Austin and went about my time off. So shout outs Austin for taking care of my dog. Not my dog. Shout outs to Austin for signing up to take care of Matt Wiegand's dog. I feel like I sublet that work. But, you know, hey, I still did a lot of yelling at a dog for eating my trash. So that counts. That's what I did for Christmas. Then I had Christmas with the family. Family's dope. We all just met up at my mom's house. Austin came to that too, because of course, why not? He's part of my life. He gets to tag along. It was pretty dope. Also, he gave me an excuse to be able to leave early, because I was just like, we gotta go do stuff because Christmas. And then we just like pieced out after drinking all my mom's tequila and stealing a bunch of her champagne for our own New Year's party. Hey, that's how you do it. That's one thing that I'm slowly learning about myself, too, is just, like, I'm fine now with having a fucking rich mom. Like, I didn't grow up with her like that, so I don't feel like that. But that's also where I get my conditional love things from, is because, you know, I'm not saying my mother was a bad mother. What I'm saying is her parenting style was very Asian. And any of my Asian listeners, what are there? Half of you, like one half of one of you might be Asian in listening to this. But yeah, it was just a lot of, you know, like, if you don't do this, no one's going to love you. And it's just like, cool. So I'll just do this. That's how you receive love and affection. So it's like, that was ingrained in me for so long that now I'm like, now she's just a person that I'm attached to, that I can go take a bunch of free hotel champagne from. So that's my life. That's how my relationships are going interpersonally. And if anyone is listening to this that disagrees with that statement, don't worry. I've been eating a lot of hydrocodone. None of this is real. It's all an imagination or something. What else is there? Yeah, Christmas was dank. Let's see. How do I tactfully talk about the things that I want to talk about that I haven't brought up with the person that I might talk about, that I might talk about things like this? Because I talk about my life, and I'm trying to be open, and I'm trying to be, you know, as true to myself as possible. I had a great Christmas because I went over to Sacramento. I met up with a lady friend over there that I met at that Santa crawl that I talked about, and she took me to IKEA for the first time, and I ate a fuckload of meatballs. So, you know, whatever that says about me, I hope that it says exactly what my personality is. Yeah, I drove all the way to Sacramento so a lady could take me to IKEA and feed me meatballs. What of it? I bought a bunch of IKEA furniture. Went to a clothing store in Sacramento, Evangeline's. That place is super fucking dope. Bought myself a Victorian outfit. Now I'm gonna be steampunk as shit. Hi, Cat. She's rubbing up against me now. Cat's super dope. Hey, in the middle of this, why not? Cat update. Cat did not handle having a dog around well. But luckily, I think she is now more comfortable with me because now the cat knows that, you know, like, this is her place. And it's fine to be a little territorial because you belong. So me and Cat, super dank. Anyway, so yeah, went for Christmas break, went over to Sacramento, had myself a little day trip full of cool shit. And so we'll see where that goes. So I'm pretty happy with how my whole Christmas break went. There's a lot of drinking and merriment and friends and family and bought a bunch of fucking video games because I figured, hey, I want to spend less money at bars and doing dumb bullshit like going and gambling, which I also fucking did. Bad mistake. Probably could have bought more cool shit at IKEA if I hadn't been fucking gambling. So yeah, don't gamble as much in 2020. New fucking goal. Like, I know it's paid off before, but I think something about my cosmic debt is now I'm starting to have to going into the give phase of the karmic debt. So I will start, you know, trying to pay into that system a little more, whatever fucking system that is. I know the episode isn't out yet, but me and Nick, mostly me because I was just talking a bunch. Mostly me was talking to Caleb. I think Shattuck is his last name. Caleb, running a podcast called The Paranormal Burrito. Check it out. Caleb is super dope. He came over, interviewed me and Nick about paranormal things, and instead of technically paranormal things, I went on kind of about the multiverse and how I think human emotions exist on a dimensional plane that humans can only feel and not see or actually tap into. And that fed into how I believe in ghosts and aliens are the same thing because it's all of us and our emotions. It got fucking crazy. Honestly, I don't know exactly what I said, and I don't really know if I believe it, but it sounded really cool when I was saying it. So I guess check out the Paranormal Burrito for my religious beliefs. But yeah, that's what I did all fucking break. It was dank shit. Did the Shays show with my band. A Summer Alive got a little bit of a raw deal because everyone hated them almost immediately because the sound guy did not have them set up properly for like an hour and a half of their set. And we were all real mean to them before we realized that. So my bad, band from Sacramento. You deserved better, and we were tired and dickish. But hey, come on back. We'll try to treat you better. Hopefully you don't remember who we are. Because, boy, did we say some shit. You didn't deserve it. And the second band, they were being kind of dicks about everything all the time. But the good news is they didn't get paid, and I'm pretty sure we got their money. So, hey, that's how shows go sometimes. Because my band was headlining a show on Friday, but we didn't technically start playing till Saturday morning. We got on stage a little after 1 a.m. So that was not my favorite, but hey, it was a Friday, so fuck it. That's what I went into it with. Like, I'm just going to have fun because I'm already here, and I would much rather play for the few people that actually did show up to see me and for the few people that are still here hanging out. There were still like 20-ish people in the audience. I was like, fuck it, let's have fun. So that was a fucking Christmas break, guys. I had a good one. Hoping that this next couple weeks I'll have more, cool stuff to talk about. Probably not. I'm just going to be working a bunch. Work's going to suck for about 2 months, but I'm trying not to put that energy into it. Hi, cat. You're just bumping into shit. Jesus. Try not to put that negative energy into my work because I want to do good, even though I know it's going to be a fucking hassle. So, you're going to get, might be getting some shorter and later podcasts for the next 2 months because work is going to take over a lot of my life. But hey, just show up every Tuesday to my open mic at Coffee and Comics and you maybe hear me complain about shit. Who knows? I might pull back from comedy a little bit on that end and maybe just try, running my shit and not worrying about everyone else's shit so much. Because, yeah, honestly, this isn't even a comedy podcast anymore. This is, it's funny. It can be funny, and it's mostly just about, like, hey, what shit are you doing to grow? Maybe that's why it's called the Petri Dish. I called it the Petri Dish because that's what Jonathan dubbed this house back when he lived here, and I really liked the ring of it. Like, this is the Petri Dish. It's where weird people live and shit comes to grow, either in the form of mold around the sink, or in the form of ideas, or in the form of personal growth. And so here we are, growing and learning and being in the world. Let's grow together. 2020, Petri Dish. We're gonna see some fucking growth. Yeah, let's see. What else do I want to talk about? Christmas was dank. Went to IKEA. Cool. That was about it on that front. Did the cat update. Cat is doing cool. Still haven't settled on a real name because honestly, other names were far too long. Then we joked about calling the cat Starlight Express, but I feel like that joke's going to get real old real quick. Because honestly, Starlight Express is a dog shit musical. And so, not gonna do any of that. I'm still just sticking with calling her Cat. Because it's just fun. I'm just like, hey, Cat, what's going on? And she's like, meow. And I'm like, hell yeah, Cat, you do you. Finally went shopping. I can only eat soft foods though, so half my food I can't eat yet, which is unfortunate. Luckily, I bought a lot of dry goods and things that'll last. Although the 5 pounds of roast beef that's left over from Christmas is getting old in the fridge. Gonna have to figure out something for that. Fuck all that shit. Let's get into the chicken update. Chicken update! Chickens are doing pretty good. I think I need to build them a bigger coop. They are now going through their food and water super, super quick because they're big now. So I might take next month once it warms up a little bit and rebuild their coop, get them some bigger water and food fixtures, and just have a general more dank area for yonder chickens to get, happier chickens will probably make better eggs. I don't know the science behind that. I'm just assuming positive energy breeds good things. I'm going to keep believing that because I don't understand science enough, so now I got to be spiritual. Hey! That's what they always say, if you're not going to be smart, at least be kind. And boy, have I really been leaning into that because I'm like, whoa, I don't fucking know anything about anything. And so I really got to start being nicer to people about stuff because I'm pretty fucking stupid when it's all said and done. Like, I'm an art major. I don't know anything about business or math or science. And so I just walk around believing shit all the time. Unless it sounds really unbelievable, then I'm like, do better research and have someone debate it. I don't know. So the chickens are probably dank. I don't fucking know. 2020 goal. Gonna say dank 3 times as much as I already have been. Hell yeah. What else do I want to get into, guys? You know what? Fuck it. I think I want to do like a decade wrap up. I want to talk about the entire, the tens, the teens. I want to talk about this decade because when I think about a decade, I'm like, oh, that's not enough time. And I'm like, well, that's fucking stupid. Like, when I think back about how much shit I did this decade, it is insane how much I can shove into a decade, let alone the 3 years that I've lived in Reno. But, 10 years ago, I was still in high school, finishing up in Anchorage, Alaska. I had quit drumming for my little band that I was in for that last semester. And there was a lot of hurt feelings and a lot of I've said it before and I'll say it again. Like, being in a band is like just being in a relationship, but just with like 2 or 3 people at the same time. And so like, when I left that band or when we all like dispersed, there was just a lot of distrust and a lot of hurt feelings. And I feel like it finally got better after the band invited me to do like this big show, talent show thing at the end, and they invited me to sing rather than be their drummer. And so I got to go up and sing this like Skillet song. It was like some Christian rock thing that this girl, I think her name was Emily, wanted to sing, and she had a wonderful voice, but I don't think the people on the soundboard were trying hard enough because my microphone was very directional and not loud enough, and her microphone was not loud enough at all. So even when I go back and listen to that old video, it is not good. Plus, I looked like a fucking dork back then. I just looked like Asian Peter Griffin running around. So that's how I started this decade. I got out of high school, left Alaska, but 2010 is when I started doing music by myself. That's when I started learning guitar by myself. That's when I started fucking around in GarageBand on my dad's old iMac. It's when I started learning digital audio workstations. I started looking through DAWs, looking through, little interfaces and stuff, and learning personal music production and how to function online through MySpace at the time and a little bit of Reverb Nation, how to function as a digital artist. And honestly, a lot of that dumb bedroom shit, while it was just fucking around at the time, it really has helped me this year with all the stuff I've been doing for my current band. Whether it be demoing stuff the most efficient so I can go into a studio and tell the engineer, here's the BPMs, here's how I want to structure the song, here's stuff that I know we can play with, boom, let's do it. Even to just like, I don't know, getting stuff dispersed properly and having a proper release for songs, it taught me a lot being able to just fuck around on stuff back then. And, mad props to my dad for putting up with my shit back then of just me constantly being like, Dad, listen to this awful Green Day cover I spent all day making. And he was like, hey, B+, good job. And I was like, cool. And I'd toss it up on MySpace and 3 of my friends would be like, the song fucking blows, but you did a good job. So that's how I started the decade. In Alaska, finishing up high school, and then moving to fucking South Dakota. Got to live with my grandma for a few months, and that's where I wrote one of my first songs that I had for my future music projects. Moved to South Dakota, got to front my first band. But before that, honestly, not a lot of people know this. Before my first band, the New FM, I was actually the drummer for a Blink-182 cover band for a hot second. We never played any shows, but we practiced like twice a week sometimes. that whole summer that I moved there, I was just like drumming. I was doing real good, but then I was like, honestly, I just want to do my own shit. I want to front my own music. So I started the New FM with some people that I met at the little local music store there. I was a mobile wedding DJ for a year. That was fucking crazy. Released 2 EPs and 1 full length over this decade with the New FM. And that was pretty chill, because I still love a lot of those songs, and those dudes are fucking dope. So that was great memories for me. On top of that, I went to fucking college. I went to college for 4 years. I was in a fraternity in college. Not a lot of people know that. When I tell... This is how I bring it up on dates sometimes. Usually not the first date. You don't drop that you were a frat boy on the first date unless they can already feel that energy. But just like a couple dates in, you just got to be like, so I was in a fraternity in college. Don't hold it against me. And then you just barrel on through, because it's hard to swallow to be like, I was living the frat boy life. Sorry. But I think I was good at it. It taught me a lot of... I guess, interpersonal management skills with other people that you may or may not agree with personally, politically, scholastically, or any way at all. Sometimes you just don't like people in general, even if you have a bunch of things in common, or, you know, they're always cool to you. Sometimes somebody just rubs you the wrong way and you don't fucking like them. And you still got to learn to deal with them sometimes. And that was one of the big things I learned being in a frat in college, is just like, here's how to deal with people from all walks of life, because sometimes 18-year-olds from the Midwest will show up in the house you manage and not know how to do their own fucking laundry. So, you know, you take people as you can. And so that's one of the things I did in this fucking decade, is I joined a frat, I managed a house, and I met a bunch of fucking dudes, some of them pretty dank. And also after that, I learned what technical writing was. When I was starting an English degree, I didn't know what the fuck I was doing. I started off college as a music major. They tried to make me join marching band, so I said fuck that and dropped all that. Became a theater major for a semester, did a play, and then I was like, I don't really want to do this shit either. It sounds like a lot of work, and theater kids are fucking weird. And so I dropped that, and then joined fucking English, because I was like, I want to just do something with words, fuck it. And then that's when I found technical writing, and that's how I started, you know, the career that I'm on now. I was like, oh, they need people to write all the shit that comes with products, you know, like manuals got to get written by somebody. And so now I'm one of those fucking people. After realizing the minutia of being in an office, I really just took a fucking hard turn, because I was like, cubicle life isn't for me. I'm going to be a bohemian music artist traveling the world and being a fucking oogle and being folk punk. I don't have the resolve for that. I don't have the fuck it attitude for that. But I started my solo music career, started Sad Giants up. I wrote a song a week for a year. I wrote a song every week. That's what I fucking did. That's how I started Sad Giants. Is I just thought, you know what? I want to learn how to write songs better. I got that idea from my artist of the decade, according to Spotify, Jonathan Colton. Wrote a song a week, every week for a year. And it taught me a lot about myself, because honestly, like at some points in that, you just end up writing lines that you don't even know how to contextualize until later on. Like there was things I've been listening, because of course I go back and listen to my own music, because I like to use it as a diary point sometimes. So I was going back and listening. I was like, oh, fuck. Like a lot of these things that I've been like dissecting about myself that I think are broken, or that I am trying to like, improve. I've known about these things in myself for fucking years, and I just never addressed them. I just wrote about them in songs and thought, I'm moody and edgy. And now I'm like, oh, fuck. Some of these are like problems that I have addressed but didn't fully realize, you know? And so it's good. It's good to go back and see like, oh, fuck, I've known myself more than I thought. You know, it's good to check in. And that's when I also started substitute teaching. When I got out of the office job, moved in with my buddy Chris, who was also my guitarist for the New FM, moved down to Sioux Falls, and I was like, fuck it, I'm going to be a substitute teacher part-time. I'm going to tour around with music, and I'm going to do dank shit, and it didn't really pan out. Honestly, it was bad. That's how I found out I had anxiety, because I would wake up every day just fucking paralyzed, not knowing what I was doing for the day, if I would be able to do it right, and just be fucking petrified to just say yes to any job because I had no idea what to expect. And so that really fucking got to me, but that's how I learned how to take care of myself mentally, and that's when I first got into therapy. And at first, I was in this place, and my therapist wasn't the best. She was just kind of dealing with me as I went in every week, and it was okay, but I never felt good about it. And then I found a great therapist after that in the Lutheran services, something, I already forgot what their name was, and it was like a very cost-effective one. It was just like, how much money do you make? Oh, that's not enough. Okay, your appointment's only $20 then. It was one of those places. But she was an amazing, amazing person. Then she, unfortunately, and very tragically, died in a car crash right after I got done substitute teaching. And I was like, well, I'm just going to have to use the tools that she taught me and just kind of fucking move on. And so, yeah. In all of that, that's when I started freelance writing and writing more for magazines and tried to take care of my mental health more and started, taking pills, realized I didn't like those pills. Did a cross-country road trip with my dad. That was pretty dank. Saw the hospital I was born in, visited Reno, and kind of liked it. But that was also a time that I was stopping my anxiety medication. Like, I had just finished up my big writing project of the song a week every year, and I was like, all right, cool. I stopped those drugs in the middle of that, actually, and for about a month after that, I just couldn't remember shit. My brain was all fucked, and I think even still, like, my brain's kind of affected by that, but don't ever quit an SSRI cold turkey like I did. Fucking bad. But yeah, I did a great road trip, saw the hospital I was born in, liked Reno enough to move here and kind of set that in my mind. And when I got back to Reno, I was, doing an open mic every week. And that's when I decided to do comedy, because I was doing music every week. And I'm kind of getting tired of singing because I had done it every week for a year, sometimes twice. And decided, like, hey, you know what? I want to try doing just my voice, just going up there and talking. Let's see how it goes. And that's how I started comedy. And so that was pretty cool. Honestly, this is just a giant diary of shit that I've done. So if you guys want to tune out now, because now I'm going to get into the Reno chapter. So Reno chapter, moved to Reno, worked for a paleo CrossFit company, lost hella weight, worked for 2 years at the Pioneer Underground. That's nothing to sneeze at, I was consistent. I have posters with my face on it. Didn't really build anything. It built me personally, but nothing came of it. It gave me the skills to work for almost a year at the Carson Comedy Club, doing host jobs there, and that was cool. And really, I think all of that just kind of prepared me for being the host I am now at my own spot, and just kind of learning how to sell myself comedically. So, a lot of that really helped with my comedy stuff. Along the lines of comedy, I got to do the Savage Henry Comedy Festival for 3 years straight. Got to have one of my favorite comedians, David Bory, on this very podcast. That was a fucking huge... That was fucking huge for me. He was just, drunk as shit like we all were. Wandered into the elevator at the same time, and he was like, what are you guys doing? And I was like, podcast, want to join? And he was like, hell yeah. So we just drank Brooks warm car vodka, talked about Fresh Prince of Bel-Air. And now he's the voice of Comedy Central, which is so fucking dope. So, I'm still fucking excited about that. More shit that I've been excited about. My fucking band, Sad Giants. It went from this little mental health project for myself into one of the only things I've ever done that people have enjoyed, like, more than I could imagine they have. I get that sometimes people listen to me and they're like, oh, this is actually good. And then they're done listening. This is the first band I've had where people, like, tell me, like, oh, I've been listening to your album all week. I'm like, fucking what? Why? Are you sure you're fine? Cool. Thanks. And so, like, Sad Giants is the first thing that I've done that people come up to tell me how much they actually enjoy what I do. And that means so much to me, because I forget that my art can matter too, because I spend so much time making it just for me, because I feel like I need that artistic landmark for myself to look back and see how far I've come. It's crazy to think that, the way that some bands affect me, where I think, like, there's albums and bands that have changed my fucking life, like Menzingers, Pup this year. previous ones like Steam Powered Giraffe, where it almost became my entire fucking personality against me. Of course, Blink-182 for all their various iterations, you know. Muse, Foo Fighters when I was in fucking college. You know, there were so many bands that kind of steered me in directions to get where I am now, and I forget that I can also be the same voice that people can relate to and say, like, whoa, the things that you said really helped me through a thing that I've been going through. And I'm like, oh, fuck, thanks, because I still listen to that song to get through a hard day sometimes. So, like, it means a lot that other people enjoy stuff in the way I intend it to be enjoyed, not just fucking listening to, you know, placate that I am enjoyable in general, but they just legit enjoy my songs. And it's kind of it's a light distinction, but it means a lot to me that people like the things I do, and people liking the things I do has led to me getting to play Virginia Street Brewhouse, The Saint, Holland Project, 3rd Street, The Library, Jub Jub, Shays, the fucking Woodward Indoor Skate Park up in Tahoe, or I guess even further than that, up in Boreal. It's like I got to play in a fucking skate park with my little punk trio. That is so fucking dope. That is shit that, like, back when dumb little me was playing Tony Hawk games, I never would have thought, like, hey, your band is going to play in a skate park for fun one of these days. Like, dope, cool. So that was really cool. And my band, we got a little article in the Reno News and Review recently. That was really cool, you know. So, you know, there's already copies gone, but I put a little picture up. It was really cool to get, like, publicized, which, you know, I did that before back in South Dakota. When I was doing my Sad Giant stuff initially, I got published in South Dakota Public Broadcast for that NPR Tiny Desk contest. And I got in a little local paper doing, like, busking in the street. You know, like, I can say that I've been in 3 different publications because of Sad Giants, and that's really cool. Like, honestly, like, to have my name in a paper, I got my name on a marquee for the Saint, you know, like, it's fucking cool. You know, it's things that are tiny, that are stupid little dreams that amount to a lot in the end. And it's those dumb little dreams, like my buddy Brian starting his own music label and wanting to include me in his compilations that he put out. Because of that, I got to be on a compilation with Sad Giants, along with other awesome bands that I've talked about on this podcast. Off With Their Heads, Beach Slang, Bouncing Souls, and a bunch of other fucking awesome rad bands from the Midwest and beyond. Like, there was so much shit that I've gotten to do with Sad Giants in just the 3 or 4 years that really are just fucking, like, more than I ever thought that I'd get. You know, I've released 2 EPs and I've gotten thousands of plays on those songs, and that means so much. I released 3 stupid Halloween songs. 3 stupid Halloween songs for every year I've lived here. I've released a dumb fucking Halloween song, which it's goofy as fuck. It's goofy as fuck, and I'm so glad that I get to do that now because of the education that I gave myself to just be able to shit out dumb songs by myself for fun. And being able to do goofy comedy shit. I got to do almost a dozen hour-long 2-man shows with Nick. You know, that's not nothing. We got to put on a fucking review, essentially. We wrote and did multiple hours of comedy at this point because the show changed almost every time. It was never the same. So yeah, we got to do a fuckload of comedy. And beyond that, I mean, I got a legit job in the field that I didn't know existed this decade. I got one, and it afforded me to get this fucking house, you know? It afforded me to get a place for other comedians to come and fucking be themselves wherever they want to be. And I know I'm the only one really, like, fucking hunkering down and doing dumb shit, like, in the house, but they're, you know, being able to stretch their wings a little, which is great, I guess. I don't know. I don't know what I'm doing for other people, honestly. I don't know. But I just feel like I'm doing something beyond what I thought I could do, and that feels like a lot. And this year, and in the past couple of years, you know, I've just been experimenting a lot more with who I am as a person, you know? Like, a decade ago, I was basically a libertarian, you know? Like, just fucking listening to shitty conservative talk radio with my dad all the time. reading Ayn Rand in school and thinking like, yeah, individuality is the only thing that matters. And it's like, no, well, community and helping others is also fucking important, but I guess little fucking teenage you can't figure that out. And so, like, when I started college, I was like, yeah, of course I'm in the Midwest. I'm a nice little Republican boy. I'll join this fraternity and I'll do stuff. But then, like all the various punk ethos that I had infused myself with was like, no, there's something else here. Like, I don't just want to say fuck you and hoard wealth, but I also don't want to say, like, don't do nothing, like, I don't want to be a piece of shit. And so, like, I've struck a balance now, I think. I found out that I want to care about others because I do, actively all the time. Like, I don't know how to not care about other people. I want there to be more for the world, and I want there to be better things. And I just feel like the world we're in right now is really focused on being fucking awful to each other. Like, every shitty family member I have is always posting things like, put a millennial in a room with a rotary phone and write the instructions in cursive and their head's gonna explode. Like, fuck you. Just because you can't figure out a VCR that's already obsolete technology, you think we can't read and work a rotary phone? We can follow instructions because we can Google everything and we know way more than you ever thought would exist in information. Just because you can't do something doesn't mean we can't. That's what growth is. But I guess you spent so much of your generation having to tamp everyone else down because you're so awesome that now you don't know what to do with yourself because everyone you know and love is dying and you never expected you'd get old, so you're hoarding wealth like fucking dragons. Well, guess what? You're all gonna die eventually, and then us poor idiot souls that don't know anything for ourselves are gonna have to inherit this fucking bleeding earth that you left. So guess what? This next fucking decade is going to be full of a lot more of me doing something about it rather than just turtling up and hoping that it all blows over. Let's see what else. Especially just because, like, for the job that I have, I'm technically not supposed to get political, and I'm not supposed to have, like, even fucking have, like, bumper stickers on my car. But I just said fuck that and started putting bumper stickers on it anyway. But mostly just bands that I like because I'm like, you know what? Fuck it. They're not going to fire me over a Menzinger sticker. And if they do, that's not a company I wanted to work for anyway. But I get it. We're fucking defense contractors, so we got to be all, like, gung-ho about getting more military spending, even though the military-industrial complex is draining everybody. But hey, what do I know? Anyway, lost even more weight. That's pretty dope. Hope to do that over the next decade, get myself even healthier, and just, I don't know, hope to live past 50, because honestly, at this point, that's not looking too good. My spine's falling out. Blood pressure's probably going to spike eventually, because my mom's blood is still in me, too. Probably going to get cancer at some point. Hopefully I can nip that in the bud whenever it figures itself out. I'm taking the medication that I'm allergic to still. Hopefully that is going to stop in 2020. Like, I'm done taking medication I'm allergic to and then taking more medication because I'm allergic to that medication. Experimented fully with my mind and body, in whatever form you want to take that. I have really... because I closed myself off for so long because, I used to be a huge fucking goofball, and I always want to be, and I always am, but so much of that is marred in me constantly trying to editorialize and constantly second thinking all the dumb shit I do because it's easier to rationalize after the fact than it is to just let yourself be you for a second. And so, yeah, I just want to do more, feeling of myself. Hey, cat, you're flipping the fuck out. I just want to do more being cool to myself. That's all I want to do. I want to forgive myself for any of the dumb shit that I've done. Any of the transgressions I want to leave in this decade, and I just want to keep this next decade fucking dank, I guess. I don't know. I want to continue learning more about why I am the way that I am, so that I can just keep on being that and not try to fix it, but just try to be aware of who I am and how that affects other people and the people that I need to be around in order to be my best self. Because I feel like sometimes I haven't been my best self, and you are the company you keep, kind of. And so you got to keep good friends and good company in order to feel your best self. You can't fix other people so that they can fix you. That's not, that's some codependent shit. Don't get caught in that. You know, and like I've been saying at the show sometimes, you know, just do drugs and do crime. It's fine. Just break some laws every once in a while. But the rule is only break one law at a time. Don't break any laws while you're breaking laws. You know, like do the little things for yourself. It's fine to do things that are lawfully wrong as long as they're not morally wrong. I'm fine with that because I feel like my moral compass is pretty well in place. I'm not doing anything to hurt anybody, you know? And you know, sometimes there is things you should be aware of. There are passive ways to hurt other people. You know, like I'm not going to go around fucking buying cocaine from people because guess what? I don't want to support that illegal drug trade because too many people are dying of fentanyl overdoses because people are cutting cocaine with bad shit. I don't support bad drugs anymore. I don't want to do that shit. But you know what? Fuck it. Smoke weed. It's not that bad. It can make you dumber and it can slow you down. It can really dull your emotions. Everything in moderation. So like, just don't fuck yourself over by being so loose with yourself that you fucking die, you know, like, but take precautions, be safe, have friends around, and just be cool to each other and watch out for each other. Get some Narcan, get some fentanyl test strips, you know. Don't go out like fucking Prince and Michael Jackson and Tom Petty. I think Tom Petty might have just been old. I don't really know anymore. But yeah, you know, like I think it was a Louis C.K. bit. Again, you know, like Louis C.K. had some good points before he got all fucking into his own ass. You know, he just said like, don't do all the drugs. Just do one at a time. Just don't mix anything. You'll be fine. And that's what I fucking believe going into 2020. Like that's I think what was the whole joke? What was the whole bit of it? It was just like, you can't tell your kids not to do drugs if you were doing drugs all the fucking time and you know how all of them affect you. Just be real with them. Tell them how shit happens. Tell them how things might affect you. You know, like, you gotta know. You have to know before you do a bunch of psychedelics that it can activate your schizophrenia, and then maybe you'll be crazy for forever. That can fucking suck. So if you don't want to know that about yourself, don't do psychedelics. Or if you think you might already be fucking crazy, don't do mind-altering things to make yourself more crazy. Like, just don't lose yourself in things. Just, it's fine to experiment, but sometimes you can change things forever. But if you're at the point in your life where you don't want to be in your life anymore and you think nothing will change, it's fine to change it. It's fine to change everything up. I've done it multiple times. I've cut and run for multiple locations. I've, you know, stopped relationships with people and bands and all sorts of things, you know, jobs and stuff just because I needed a fresh start, because I didn't like the me that I was being and I didn't like the me I was becoming. And so I've started again multiple times, and I'm not done doing that. There's probably going to be times where I need to cut and run in order to preserve who I am, but I'm trying to be more mindful of the company I keep so that I don't feel like I have to cut and run, that I have good enough support around me, that if one thing, you know, devastates me completely for a while, I feel like I can still stay where I am because I have people behind me. And I feel like I found that out this year. I have people behind me that want me to feel better no matter what. They don't care what happened. They just want me to not be sad. And while that seems kind of self-serving at surface level, it's not. They want me to be sad because they miss Happy Bobby. They want me to not be sad because they don't want me to be sad. And that, I think that's fucking beautiful. And so I'm going to spend 2020 trying to be less sad because I deserve it. And you know what, guys? I feel like that was a good recap. I don't know. That's how I want to leave it. That's how I want to leave it. I hope everyone has a happy New Year's. I know I'm going to have a happy New Year's because I got 2 bottles of champagne and a party that's going to be popping off. I hope everyone has a happy New Year's. Be cool to yourself and be cool to others. Let's see. What is the words that I was talking about from Culture Abuse? Band Culture Abuse that I got to open for the Menzingers, new band that I really like. They have a song called Be Kind to the Bugs. And you know what? I don't want to fuck up this line, but I saw Culture Abuse, and I only knew a couple of songs from them, but Chris was real insistent that they're super fucking dope, and so I wanted to get into them, and know a bit more. And so I did, and I looked them up, and I really liked this song because it's fucking dope. Nope, that's not the. Oh, there it is. Yeah, be kind, B-E-E, kind to the bugs. You see what they did there? But the lines of it are: be kind to the bees, be kind to the bugs, be conscious of others, be careful with the drugs, be kind to yourself even though it gets hard. Don't let the distractions stack up to the stars. And that's kind of how I'm going into 2020. Just be kind to yourself, be kind to others, be cool. It's fine to experiment, but don't fucking lose yourself. Do crime, do drugs. All right, guys. That's probably enough for me. Hopefully you have a good New Year's, Comment in the little podcast group about shit that you're trying to do. What are your fucking goals? I got plenty of goals. What are they? We'll get into that later when I actually write them down and want to get into them. I already said a couple during this. I don't remember what they are. I'll remember when I listen back to this whole thing. Honestly, this whole thing was a stream of consciousness, ridiculous diary. And if you stuck around this long, fucking awesome. Thank you for liking me enough to listen to me ramble for almost a straight up hour. And here's to more hours of rambling for the next year. Okay, love you, bye.